Hey y'all. So today's live, sorry, the sun is setting, so like it's kind of crazy. Today's live is going to be a spring cleaning here in Pussy Church on your period. The reason that I chose to do spring cleaning on your period today is because I am on day one of my period, and I have worked really hard this last year and a half to create a healthier relationship with my menstrual cycle, with my moon cycle, with my period, with my womb. I have done this through yoni eggs, through womb meditations, through yoni steams, through getting into um, alignment with the seasons of the month that a woman's period um, is part of, which our period is considered like the winter week, right? So when we're wintering, we just like rest and we get cozy and we get down and comfortable with ourselves, right? We read, we do art, we watch TV shows. We don't do a whole lot in the winter, and that's how the winter week of our period is supposed to be. Um, However, anyways, I decided to show up in Pussy Church with my period panties because I am a huge fan of period panties. Ever since I stopped using tampons and pads, like I find that my cramps have gotten so much like lighter. Um, I don't bleed as much. I don't get nearly as much backaches. I don't get nearly as feverish during my periods as I used to once I started respecting my pussy and my womb and my period and my menstrual cycle. So, huge fan of these. They've been really great. And to walk down the street without something between your legs and just to be able to bleed is like such a liberating feeling as a woman, especially as a woman that has had to wear tampons and pads my whole life and feels like I'm wearing a huge diaper whenever I wear pads. And I feel like I am gross when I do tampons because they stay in for so long, right? So, anyways, spring cleaning is a technique that I learned in Mama Gena's virtual pleasure bootcamp. And this technique is basically you're using the power of acknowledgement in a safe space where you get everything out around a said topic, like the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. You're acknowledging it. And by acknowledging it, then it's kind of like it's energetically getting vacuumed out to where like this energy, the emotions that you have around the topic, which in this case is our period, they're vacuumed out. So then it makes way for like the more desirable outcomes that you have in mind, which I think it's fair to say a lot of women enjoy not having the super crampy, like back achy months. Like we all know when we've had like a lighter period and we're like, oh, that was much easier than like other times, right? So when you spring clean on your period, it shows your womb and your period and your pussy that you're listening, and they will gladly honor you listening. And the more that you listen, the more manageable your period becomes, and the more empowered you feel as a woman around your period. Which also, I just want to put in there that it's natural to have anger and grief around the topic of your period because we live in a patriarchal world culture where, I mean, it's men that sell us our tampons and our pads, and they tell us how gross we are in religions when we bleed, and then they sell us these things because we're gross. And really, we're not. It's a natural part of being a woman. It is a very divine way to connect with yourself, your womb space, which is your creativity portal. And it is something that men don't have. And a period is really wonderful because the more you heal your relationship with it, the more you realize, like, wow, like my body sheds everything from the last month, pretty much every month, and it lets it all go in such a like graceful and poetic way. Because I mean, like, blood is like that's like that's the rivers in our body, that's the rivers of Mother Earth, right? And so periods are really, really beautiful. So anyways, you might feel some of these emotions come up, and if you do, I would suggest going to my video on how to swamp. I have two different ones on my Pussy Church playlist. One is like to swamp in Pussy Church in your lingerie just to kind of build approval of yourself, and the other is to swamp in your regular clothes in your day-to-day. And that'll help you work out some of that anger that might come out. When you spring clean with another person, they hold space for you. You'll see the script, I'll go through it. They hold space for you, And they're kind of like the garbage truck. Like once you spring clean in real life and take stuff to the garbage, do you like hear about it again? No, it's gone. It's at the landfill, right? So you all have to be in agreement that this is a safe space where like you guys don't go back into the spring clean because then that's not really leaving it clean, right? You're kind of dirtying it up again. And when you spring clean with yourself, the one that acts as the garbage man is the universe, your higher power, God, goddess, like whoever you believe in. And so you can spring clean with yourself, you can spring clean with another person, you can also spring clean in a group. And it's a safe container, and make sure that when you're doing spring cleans that you try to keep like a poker face because that way you don't make someone feel judged or unsafe in the container. um, every now and then it's fine to like smile, I think. However, the way it is taught is you keep a poker face. But like if you're giving like a smile of encouragement because like you can feel the person feels uncertain, sure. But sometimes like people might smile not realizing like this might be like a griefy thing that they just acknowledged, and then you kind of look like an a-hole because you smiled, and they might not feel safe and they might withdraw and not go as deep in the clean, right? And so yeah, the hold on, let me turn the light on. All right, that should work. So anyways, yeah, you try to keep a poker face, you go by a timer, and then the last, like when the timer goes off, you have a thing called pulls. You can have like one pull, two pull, three pull, however many pulls you want. Once you hear the word, this is your first pull of however many pulls, it tells your subconscious mind that it is now time to wrap up the spring clean. And kind of like a pimple, you just like use your final pulls to get all the last of it out. And then you'll close with a trinity. And a trinity is a way to pull you out of the clean because the clean is like based on all the stuff in the past, right? Like you're trying to get that out so you can enjoy your present and have a like more enriching like future, right? Like an increased sense of well-being in your future. And so to get out of the past, it's a good idea to close with a trinity, which is a brag, a gratitude, and a desire, so that way you can like uplift yourself. Like bragging is something you're celebrating, gratitude, we all know gratitude, and a desire is something that like you truly desire. And there's the whole thing in physics, like when a photon is witnessed, it gives way for it to become matter. So when your desire is being witnessed by myself in this video at the like in the ethers, when it's being witnessed by your higher power, when it's being witnessed by your like sister goddess or whoever you spring clean with, then it makes way for the desire to come through, which is really awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and spring clean and give you a demonstration of how to spring clean with yourself. And I am going to do my spring clean for a total of 1 minute and 2 pulls. Just so you know kind of how to do it. And then after my clean, I'm gonna go ahead and put a timer on for you and give you a number of pulls. And then that way you can clean here with me in a safe space. And then as you get more comfortable with your cleans, then you can go ahead and take this tool to people you feel safe with. Some of these topics, like people are going to get triggered by. So it's nice to have a safe space to go to begin. All right. So this is what I do. I talk out loud to myself. There's a mirror in front of me. I also talk out loud to myself in the mirror in the bathroom. And then that way it's just me going back and forth. But sometimes I just talk to the sky. However, I do talk out loud because there's power of the spoken word, right? Hold on. Let me get comfortable for this one. Okay. Let's see. All right. Sister Goddess Poppy, are you ready to begin your spring clean on your period for 1 minute and 2 pulls? Yes. Thank you. What do you have on your period? I'm now starting my timer. I have a lot of heaviness. Thank you. What do you have on your period? It makes me sad that I used to think my period was so gross and vile. Thank you. What do you have on your period? It makes me angry that men treat me as if I'm gross and vile. Thank you. What do you have on your period? Now that I've been healing my relationship with my body hates tampons. Thank you. What do you have on your period? I hate that I get such a sweet tooth during my period. Thank you. What do you have on your period? I hate that so many women are disempowered around their period and think I'm crazy for my approach on periods. Thank you. What do you have on your period? I enjoy slowing down during my period. Thank you. What do you have on your period? It's hard to slow down though because the world we live in is just so busy. Thank you. What do you have on your period? The world we live in is so busy, and I feel guilty when I slow down. Thank you. This is your first of two pools. What do you have on your period? I feel guilty as a woman when I'm not doing something, and when I take time to rest on my period, that guilt is exacerbated. Thank you. This is your second and final poll. What do you have on your period? I remember in high school how everybody was making fun of this girl because her tampon fell out on the dance floor, and how it just made me feel really ashamed that I had a period. Thank you. This concludes your spring clean on your period. It has been an honor and a pleasure to hold space for you. Would you like to close with the Trinity? Yes. So the Trinity is like, I'll lead you through it. So, Trinity, I brag, I celebrate, I brag that I have finally started fully wearing period panties on my period. I brag that I quit my job a couple months ago and I'm able to just really relax and enjoy relaxing on my period. And I brag that I've been having some really vulnerable conversations and asserting myself as a woman lately, and that I have not shamed myself or made myself feel unlovable in any way. And then the other person would be like, well brag. So well bragged. And then my gratitude. I am grateful to have I am grateful to have had the last year and a half healing my relationship with my period. I am grateful that I'm not who I was a year and a half ago when I first read what it said about Chinese medicine and the period being the winter week and slowing down. I'm grateful that I no longer think that's impossible. I'm grateful that my body naturally went with it, and now I've slowed down like second nature. Beautiful gratitude. And my desire. I desire to continue exploring my relationship with my period and with my body as a woman. And I desire to continue helping other women feel safe and exploring themselves and their periods and their bodies as women. And I desire that more and more women reclaim their power and sit on their empowered queen thrones with their freaking period cups and period panties and organic tampons and whatever makes them feel comfortable. I desire for a more woman friendly and woman empowered world. Yay. And so it shall be, or something even better and wetter than your wildest dreams, which symbolizes like pussy juice sparkling down on you, right? So that is how you do a spring clean with yourself. And notice how like you kind of go all over like the place with the emotions. That's totally fine. It's kind of like a battery. You have like your positive and negative charge. And so some cleans you're definitely just going to hit a lot of negatives, but every now and then you'll slip into like, I enjoy blank. And that's cool too, because then you're hitting some of the positives, right? Um, However, as you clean, it reduces the energetic and emotional charge that you have on the topic. So the more that you clean on your period, the more enjoyable your period will become, and the more your body will reward you, and the more like you'll feel empowered in your body as a woman, because this is part of being a woman and you shouldn't be ashamed of it. And shame is one of the like lower density emotions, and they really weigh on our body. And it's like shame is where a lot of women store like a lot of women store shame in their wombs, right? And that's why you have like endometriosis, you have HPV, you have vaginal, what is that? Bacterial vaginosis. You have like all these things that happen down here because shame is getting stored down here, and it festers and the energy is not moving because it just keeps piling up. And then these poor women have like all these mind body afflictions in their womb. And so spring cleaning is a tool to be able to kind of clean out that space, along with using other tools like yoni eggs and womb meditations, which I do have a period meditation if you're interested in it. I think it's on the guided meditations playlist. Um, and yoni steaming, using herbs for your period instead of ibuprofen. Like there's so many ways you can explore this and bring your power back around such a sacred thing. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and spring clean with you. I'm going to go ahead and set the timer for, let's say, 2 minutes and 3 pulls. So this means you have 2 minutes and 3 pulls to do your spring clean. Also, when you're spring cleaning, it's good to kind of treat it like a camera. So like how I did, I was like direct and to the point. And so try to keep, if you have a story around your period, break it into frames like you would with like a little disposable camera, right? And then also think of it like surgeons when they go in for surgery, like they don't take out a huge chunk of your skin to do surgery. Like they do a fine slit and then they go in with their little cameras and it's a really precise process. So try not to get into run-ons. And I'm going to time it and see what feels right to like give you your next one and your next one. All right, so 2 minutes and 3 pulls. All right. Let's see. All right, Sister Goddess, are you ready to begin your spring clean on your period for a total of 2 minutes and 3 pulls? I'm hearing you say yes. Now I'm going to start the timer. Thank you. What do you have on your period? Thank you. What do you have on your period? Thank you. What do you have on your period? Thank you. What do you have on your period? Thank you. What do you have on your period? Thank you. What do you have on your period? Thank you. What do you have on your period? Thank you. What do you have on your period? Thank you. What do you have on your period? Thank you. This is your first of 3 pulls. What do you have on your period? Thank you. This is your second pull. What do you have on your period? Thank you. This is your third and final pull. What do you have on your period? Thank you. This concludes your spring clean on your period. It has been an honor and a pleasure to hold space for you. Would you like to close with a trinity? I'm going to hear you saying yes. Thank you. What do you brag? So list something that you are celebrating. It could be a small brag, a big brag. Go ahead and list a brag or two. Yay! Well brag! That's so juicy. What is your gratitude? What is something you're grateful for? Or you could list a couple of gratitudes. Beautiful gratitude. Beautiful. And what do you desire? You can desire something small, something big, something small that you build into big. And so it shall be, or something even better and wetter than your wildest dreams. Well done. Congratulations on doing your spring clean. Also, I forgot to mention when you're doing a spring clean, sometimes you might find that you uh, have nothing. You might be like, I have nothing. I don't know what to say right now. You're allowed to say, I have nothing. So if you find that you had a few of those moments in the video, like totally go back and redo the clean and you can go ahead and do that. Usually if you say I have nothing once or twice, it reveals a whole new layer around the period. And sometimes when spring cleaning, some things might be like years old. And so you might find that you have the same layer over and over and over. So you might be like, I hate my period. Thank you. What do you have on your period? I hate my period. Thank you. What do you have on your period? I hate my period. Thank you. What do you have on your period? I hate how tired I get in my body on my period. Thank you. What do you have on your period? So you see how like when you do the layer a few times, then it reveals a new layer. That's totally fine. That's totally normal. So definitely suggest going back and doing the video to see what other layers you get out with that information added into it. And yeah, you could do this video as many times as you need. Some people will pick a topic and spring clean for a week, and some will pick a topic and spring clean for a month where they do like 5 days on, 2 days off. Just listen to your intuition and your body and see how it feels. And then, like I said, if you feel any like grief or anger come up as you acknowledge these things that have been waiting to be acknowledged, then totally go to the swamp video that I have and do a swamp and move that energy through your body. So that's all I got for today. And I hope it was useful. And please leave your experience in the comments. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. It's an honor and a pleasure working with you. And I look forward to putting out more spring cleaning videos. From my heart to yours, thank you. And from my pussy to yours, pussy juice. Thank you.